Hey everyone, this is Dennis, and we're back again for another video in our Avengers Age of Ultron set visit report with Jon Schnepp.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Yep, I was on the Avengers set, hanging out like 6 months ago with all the weirdos that you know and love.
So the first two that we did were Robert Downey Jr. and Mark Ruffalo, and this is the third one in our series, our never-ending series. It's gonna keep going, even when the movie comes out. We'll just keep talking about
we've talked to a lot of people on this movie from 3 years ago,
including like all the way down to the craft services and all that stuff.
They made a wicked cappuccino.
Yeah.
Well, so that's the behind the scenes from 2017. We can't reveal that right now. I signed a non-disclosure. So.
Anyways, but this one we're talking about the director, the main man, Joss Whedon.
Yeah, Captain Tired is what I was referring to him earlier. He's the busiest and most hardest working director I've ever seen directing. This guy was like, he literally hurt himself. He was limping around nonstop the entire time, the 2 days we were on set. It was great to see him work. But man, is he an invested person? He's very invested. Not only did he write it, he's also directing it, and it shows. You know?
Yeah, I was reading through the transcripts and listening to the audio that you captured. One of the things that I noticed that he was kind of almost reluctant to come back to the second one, right? Mm-hmm. Like, can you tell us the details of why he came back and his ideas that he had?
Well, I mean, the first one was just like, for everyone, it was sort of like the first of its kind. Like, let's get all these characters from these separate movies and bring them together. Get someone who's really well versed in dealing with multiple characters like he has in all of his television shows like Buffy, Firefly, and his writing of the X-Men. So he was the man to go to. He was the go-to guy, the get director, get him to write it, get him to direct it. I could see, like, working with all those different personalities and on the budget and, very fast time that they had to do the Avengers, he might have been a little reluctant because it was a lot of work. It was an incredible amount of work. But he came up with the story. He's like, look, I wanted to get Vision in there. I wanted to get Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver in there because those are like the Avengers that became the Avengers way back in the 60s. Once they got rid of some of the other main guys, they actually came in and took over the Avengers. So I think once he locked in on the right story and got reinvigorated into it, he's 100%. Then he was like, now I really have to put all of my all into it. Like, literally, I think it was a 12-month shoot? It was an incredibly grueling shoot. They went all over the planet to get shots for this film, and he was there the whole time.
Okay, and in the last few blogs, we had talked about kind of Mark Ruffalo kind of let out some information in terms of how he was involved. His character, Bruce Banner, was involved with actually the creation of Ultron along with Robert Downey Jr., Tony Stark's character as well.
Right.
In this one, the big reveal that I got from this was about the origins of Vision. Can you talk about that? Yeah,
I mean, well, he basically says that Vision is created by Ultron. Ultron is the guy who actually puts Vision together. And, it took a while for him to actually break it to Paul Bettany. He was like, look, I know you've been Jarvis in Iron Man, but guess what, dude? Now you're playing the Vision. And it just makes so much sense. None of us really saw that coming. We were like, oh, Paul Bettany, he's a great actor. And look, he's the voice of Jarvis. Wait a minute. Ultron, Tony Stark, Vision. I mean, it all makes sense now, and it's almost too perfect.
Yeah, originally I had speculated that Vision and Ultron were going to be more like brothers, that they had been like created at the same time, but it looks like he's a creation of Ultron himself, which, we don't know how that's going to play out in the movies.
Yeah, it seems like maybe Ultron's playing God, trying to create the perfect man, but I mean, from what Joss says, they really stayed true to the Vision of the Vision. He looks like the Vision, I can say that. I watched him work on set. I saw some really amazing things that I still can't talk about. But what I can say is they really got the Vision down right. I mean, that's the great thing about these adaptations, at least in the Marvel universe. The characters, like, they have the same take that they did in the comic books. Obviously, they've changed it slightly for a cinematic world. But, he looks like the Vision, and so that's pretty exciting to see come to life.
Okay, and then he also talked about Ultron and the character's distance from humanity, and James Spader kind of doing the mocap stuff.
Right.
What else did he elaborate on that?
Well, with Ultron, I mean, it's sort of the way Whedon's approach is genius, because he's like, Ultron doesn't know he's the villain. Ultron is just like, look, I'm trying to make things right, and in order for me to make things right, you got to go, as in humanity. you got to go. It just makes perfect sense, right? I mean, I thought about it. I am the world's smartest creature. You designed me to think these problems through. Figured it out. Bye. You know, so that's when we're like, oh no, I think we screwed up. You know, they've just created the worst nightmare possible, like an unstoppable monster. You know, who thinks he's right, because the best villain is a hero who is a villain. Yeah. You know, because in their own mind, they're like, hey, I'm doing the thing. Yeah. Aren't you guys happy that I'm doing this? They're like, no, yeah. So it's a really good turn.
He also talked about how it was hard to write the Hulk. Why did he say, like, that character specifically was hard to write for?
Well, because you know, just in the Avengers, his little turn was like, I'm always angry, you know? And then when you're like, oh my God, so that's how he's in control of the Hulk. It's not like he gets angry. He's just always angry. And it's like he releases the Hulk. So the way he was talking about it is like, he's angry when he's fighting, and then he's also angry when he's just having a pleasant conversation with you. He's still angry. He's simmering between a roar and a erg, you know? So the whole time he's erging, like, but then when that's when he's the Hulk. So still always angry, but I can't wait to see the way that Ruffalo plays that part.
So obviously we've seen the Fox version of Quicksilver in X-Men Days of Future Past. What did Joss Whedon say about their portrayal and how it's going to be different from the Fox one?
Well, he did say, hey, look, if we knew about, you know, if we saw the X-Men Days of Future Past earlier, there's certain things that we might have changed, but there's certain things like the way the actor who played Quicksilver in X-Men Days of Future Past, Evan Peters, just killed it. We had joked a little bit about what he looked like when we first saw it. He was like, hey, he's out of disco. Where's the disco ball? It looked very like silly almost. But man, did he just kill it. And we loved his portrayal of Quicksilver. And just that set piece alone with him with the guards was just jaw-dropping. It was amazing. That being said, Aaron Taylor Johnson's portrayal of Quicksilver in the X-Men movie is going to be a lot different, because he isn't a mutant, and he's got he grew up with his sister, and then they get these powers, and then they are forced to deal with these powers in an age of miracles, however you want to talk about them. And the portrayal is it's still gonna have that slow motion act. That's how you portray. Super speed. You can't have it just like that. You feel like you got ripped off. Yeah. So you have to have like the Alan Moore frozen statues while another dude's doing all cool stuff. But I think they're gonna do it a little bit different. They've got different techniques, and I think the way he sounded, he's like, look, we've got it handled. We have our way that we're doing it. He felt confident with it.
Yeah, and then also, did he talk about Baron von Strucker at all?
Not too much. He said, you'll see him. He's in there.
Okay.
He's a part of the origin of Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, but he really didn't go into details on that.
Okay. Well, is there anything else that Joss Whedon talked about you think that people should know that we can actually reveal?
I think people should be really excited about his take on this second Avengers and the story aspects that he brought to make it different. Like, a lot of sequels of big hit movies, they just try to repeat the same kind of thing, like, hey, don't break it, let's do that same thing and make it a little bit better. But he took this and he broke it in half, and then he re-put it together and then broke it again. So you're going to be pretty surprised as you move through this Avengers movie, like just how radically different and the choices and the decisions that they make that are challenging to the fans of all these Marvel films. But I think all for the best. It's going to be a really exciting film.
Yeah, the tone from the trailer just seems a departure from the first one, which is a good thing.
Yeah, I think the world that he's playing with and the way that he's got all of the different characters, how they're forced to react to these certain situations that they're put into, is going to be great and very exciting to watch and see. And like I said, Joss Whedon is one of the hardest working directors I've ever seen. So hats off to him.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks a lot, John, for giving us all that information, which I wish we could have been there.
That's right.
Like, just hit it in like as a little fly on the wall, like you were.
Yeah, I was sweating it out for all you guys. Believe me, I was watching some of the scenes that I saw that I'll be able to talk about later. It's just very exciting. So.
Yeah. All right, guys, thanks for watching. We're going to have more of these set reports as it goes on, because Jon Schnepp over here had interviewed a bunch of them, all the rest of the cast as well. All right, guys, so until next time, where can people find you, Schnepp?
You find me on Twitter and Instagram just at Jon Schnepp or TDOSLWH.
Okay, you can find me on Twitter at ThinkHero or on Instagram dennis.tzng. And make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/AMC Theaters, and wait for more of these awesome videos. Thanks.
Hey everyone, if you liked this video, click that thumbs up button and make sure to subscribe to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. It's free and helps you stay up to date with all the latest movie news, as well as our daily AMC movie talk show. Also, make sure that you follow us on Facebook and Twitter to stay up to date with all of our special promotions, contests, and prize giveaways.